And that sentence is being finished too. Okay, beautiful women, I know how much you love to talk. I'm going to bring you back up here though, because I would like to give an opportunity for someone or a few of you that might like to share with the group either what this process was like, what you may have learned, or what you'd like to offer, or just a comment. Does anybody have something that they'd like to bring into the greater room? Teresa?
Do you want me to come up there? Sure. So I was just going to comment that it is very interesting to me how I feel like I'm at one of the most kind of blissful and happy places I've been in a long time, but yet when you have that little flame trick, it was like, wow, okay, there's still that big dark demon thing like right behind it, threatening to, and for me it was like, be careful, because guess what, you might be happy now, but guess what, there's these scary things that happen, so beware. And I realized like that is always kind of there, and I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop kind of feeling. So I would love to not do that anymore, but that was what I noticed.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that familiar to anybody else? Yeah. There's always a story underneath a story. And we have really thick skins in these human body earth suits. But it's really easy to get underneath them. And then there's suffering. So how do we do this thing called life without suffering? That's a big question, right? Well, part of it is removing its power. Part of it is just accepting that it will serve you. There's an equation I learned from Jack Canfield. E plus R equals O. So the events or the experiences in your life, that's the E, plus the reactions and the responses to it, that's the R, equals the outcome, that's the O. So your story can be the event, and Emma reflected this earlier. If we're in the now, everything that happened before is the past. If we bring it now, then we're bringing it into the future. So the event itself has passed. Somebody died, you were victimized, your house burned down. We have so many stories. You had alcoholic parents. So many things that create weight and heaviness, discomfort. That place of feeling horrendous, that place of feeling disconnected. When we see it, when we face it, when we accept it, when we have gratitude for it, it can diffuse it. It doesn't have that power. And then you can look into it. You can learn from it. You can see what's underneath it. So bouncing back from setbacks in business and in life, resilience is how you respond.
Yep.
It is. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not perfect. I know I look perfect right now, but I'm not. And I have my moments, lots of them. There are things that take me down. I've been through a few things in my life, and I'm grateful. Now, I'm not grateful that my parents are dead or that my partner person that I married has passed on, but I know that each one of those closing doors opened my heart, opened my path, opened my sight on my journey. So every time that something creates a in my system, I'm going to look at why I'm responding that way, not why did it happen. So it's, even in the midst of trauma, even in the midst of something very, very challenging and uncomfortable, we still have a choice. And we can choose to celebrate the shitty as much as we celebrate the greatness. But what's interesting, and I know that's not going to be the story in this room, but what's interesting is we have a much louder voice when it comes to our failures, when it comes to our mistakes, when it comes to the things that we screwed up on. Connie Podesta is a woman I came in contact with who's a therapist and a comedian as well. And she was speaking to a group of people and she said to them, turn to your neighbor. Tell your neighbor something that you're proud of that you did, that you accomplished. And the room was silent. Interesting. Okay, let's try this one. Turn to your neighbor and tell them something you screwed up on. Hey, no problem there. Cacophony in the room. What does that say about us right now? It says that we don't like to love ourselves as much as we like to beat up on ourselves. Now, social media and television and pop culture really supports that, in essence. So we need to have a bigger, stronger voice and a much louder presence. So now, I want you to take that second question, and I want you to write down something you are amazing at.
Just one thing?
It can be more than one. I was going there. But that's the thing, right? It's practice, right? And some of us just need to sit in ourselves and in our stories and celebrate. Celebrate the wins. Celebrate the beauty.